Check out the Biotech's big run over the last month, up nearly 10%. Actually, earlier today, Tim, you said this is one of the best looking charts in the market.
And if you look at Biotech, it's up almost 20% off those lows. And it's something that is, I think, a combination of where you had some oversold conditions that were driven by macro, more a little bit towards, call it, the government and the regulatory stuff. But really, if you look at a Biogen and if you look at the M&A activity in the space and you look at really the pipeline for a handful of companies that people thought were dead, but more important, you look at the balance sheet and you look at the valuations. And it tells me that I think there actually is a combination of catalysts and fundamentals that work here.
Yeah, I agree. Biogen closed right basically $300. $299 and change. It's up from that $220 level that it was meandering in for a long time. And it's still cheap on valuation. So I understand why people would be inclined, if they caught this move, this $80 move in Biogen, to take profits. That makes sense. I still think there's room to the upside. And you look at other names like Amgen is at a stealth run as well. Biotech has done well because I don't think that right now, at least, they don't have a giant bullseye on their back, at least for the foreseeable future.
But I think the way to invest in this is through an ETF, through the IBB, because you get your Amgen, you get your Gilead, you get your Vertex, you get Biogen. It's up 18% year to date, and you don't have to worry about a blow up with any one given name. You get a host of them, and it mutes your risk.
Yeah, I do like the spreading the risk type of thing. I go more towards the smaller mid caps, which are in the NASDAQ ETF. But on both of those, I would caution, I think you have time to wait here. We've had these big moves. There would be no problem with, you could still have a bullish take on this with everything that's going on, the good valuations, and still have these things pull back because they've had such a big move. So I would say wait a little bit, maybe wait a week or two, let it digest itself, but then go into the ETFs.
Did you see how Karuna Therapeutics finished out the week?
Crazy week, wasn't it?
380% on this week alone.
Yeah, that is one for the record books, and that's an IPO over the last 6 or 9 months, I think. I mean, the data came out, was extraordinary for them. Then you had that move up to 140. The secondary they announced. I can't speak intelligently about that. My point is, with biotech, you see the types of moves that you can have, and then you're talking about stocks that have pipelines and have balance sheets, like an Amgen, like a Biogen, and at these valuations, they just make a lot of sense. And I think that move that you just talked about illustrates a point that biotech is not dead by any stretch.
And if you're in the market and you're looking for beta, right? I mean, there's all this sort of reach for risk in this sort of market environment. This could be one example of it.
Without a doubt, particularly if you don't diversify and you go single name, you can get a really big bang for your buck. But they are a lot more like call options than they are equity investments.